Hi, just a quick video to explain how the reviews are scored. First, I do the review. You, the student, have to complete the exercises and quizzes by the given deadlines. As long as you finish your lessons by the deadlines, your reviews will be good. Second, there will be a total of 4 reviews, each covering 4 lessons. Review 1 covers lessons 1 to 4. Review 2 covers lessons 5 to 8. Review 3 covers lessons 9 to 12, and so on. Each review is worth 10 points, so 40 points total for all 4 reviews, which counts towards 40% of your grades. Basically, we're now starting to score the class, and these reviews will tell you how well you're doing. About 24 hours before the real review, I will do a test review. Everyone should have their test reviews in their email inbox right now. Please open and look at your test review. Now, after some general info that appears at the top of your review email, you should see a scoring breakdown. As you can see, if you're scoring 9 out of 10 on this review, you're doing great. Keep up the good work. 7 or 8 means you're okay, but perhaps you should finish an exercise or quiz. And we'll see in the review where it tells you what you need to complete. 4 out of 6 is a sign that you're not doing enough work. You're probably falling behind on the lessons. Remember, it's 2 lessons per week, so make sure that you finish extra lessons here before the final review is completed. And of course, a low score means you're not doing enough lessons. You need to start working on your lessons right away. All right. The main portion of the review is between these 2 lines that you'll see on your email. Okay. You can see at the top, this is called Review Test 1. Right? Look closely at your section here. Right? In your email, it will tell you how you're scoring. Right? Test 1 means you still have a little bit of time. If you're not scoring well, you can complete it. Generally, I do the real review about 24 or more hours after the test review. So if it's a test review, you still have time to score a few extra points. Take advantage of that time. Now, I have several examples listed below here, and I will go over them. I will show you what leads to good review scores, and I will show you to what leads to bad review scores. All right. The not so hot examples, I'll explain how you can improve your score before the final review, and you'll get an idea of how the reviews work. And I must stress, when you get a test review, you have at least 24 hours or more to complete them. This is a good reason for checking your email every day. If you check your email every 3 or 4 days, you may get a test review and a final review, and you won't have time to check it. So, or improve it. Please check your emails. All right, so let's start here. Again, this is test 1, so you have a little time to improve your score. If this said review number 1, then it would be the final review, and you would be off. Done, and should move on to the next set of lessons. All right. There's a quick review on what your current lesson is. Right now we're reviewing through lesson 4, so lesson 5 is pretty good. It's telling you you're doing well as far as the pace of your lessons. All right. The first part of your scoring is based on your quizzes. There have been 4 lessons, so you should have completed 4 quizzes. You can see that this student has gotten 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5 on the first 4 quizzes. That's pretty good. The total of 18 out of 20 and your percentage of 90% is generally good enough to get full credit for the quizzes. I sort of grade the quizzes on their own, and if you're getting 18 out of 20, that's good. You'll get full credit for the quizzes. I don't want you to panic if occasionally you get a 4 out of 5 or maybe even a 3 out of 5. As long as your percentage is high on your quiz scores, your review score will be good. All right, so that's the first half of what your score is based on, your quizzes. The second half of your scores are based on your exercise completions. All right, your successful exercise completions. All right. In general, most exercises require 3 successful completions, and you can see that this student has gotten 3 out of all 3 on every single exercise. They've basically gotten 100% of their exercises done. Based on this total of 24 completed exercises, this student is doing well. All right, so based on good quiz scores and good successful exercise completions, this student is getting 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 means you are done. You don't have to complete anything more on lessons 1 through 4 to get full credit on the actual review when it's done. I would suggest this student forget about lessons 1 through 4 and go on to lessons 5 and above. All right. If your test review says 10 out of 10, move on. Move on to the next lesson. All right. So that's example of a perfect score. I want to show you one that also gets a good score. You can see on this second example, a student has gotten 90% out of the quiz. We've already established that's good. But this student didn't quite finish all the exercises. But they got 21 out of 24. Now, 21 out of 24 to me is still a good score. You can see here that this student still got a 10 out of 10. And the reason for that is, if you couldn't complete one exercise, I'm not going to ding you too hard on the score. If you are able to do almost all of the exercises, I'm a happy camper. While I'd like this student to go on and complete a few more exercises in 2, do they have to get full credit? Absolutely not. All right. You can see as long as you complete most of the exercises and get most of the quiz answers correct, you're still going to get 10 out of 10. The moral of the story is you don't have to get perfect scores to get a perfect review. Now, when don't you get full score? Well, this student here obviously has a little bit of confusion here on this review. Right? You can see that they did all the quizzes. That's great. Right? 90%. They're going to get full credit for the quizzes. But for some reason, they've only completed 1 exercise out of the 3 required for each exercise. Now, this student probably is just mistaken. They thought, well, I completed it once, I'm done. You notice when you do the exercises, they're slightly different every time you do it. I do that for repetition to reinforce the point. Also, because it randomly generates it, it means that every student gets a slightly different exercise. So the requirement here was to do 3. This student only did 1. You can see that it cost the student 3 points. Basically, they got 5 points for doing the quizzes. They only got 2 points out of a possible 5 for doing the exercises. Now, again, this is a test review. So if this student is reading their emails every day, gets this email address, they can make that a 10 out of 10 if in the next 24 or so hours they go through and finish more of those exercises. I would recommend to this student, go ahead, try and finish more exercises. The more exercises you complete, the higher this score will be. Now, here's another problem example of a student. Here's a student that's basically halfway done with where they should be. Right now, the class should be done with lesson 4. This student is basically done through lesson 2, and not even quite 2. They've taken the quizzes, and they're getting full credit for the quizzes. 90%, again, is good on that line. But they've only done partial exercises. This student basically is skipping the exercises. Hopefully they're reading the lecture, they're taking the quizzes, that's good, but they're skipping the exercises. And you can see here on exercises for lesson 2, lesson 3, and lesson 4, they skipped them. If the student is happy with 6 out of 10, I guess they don't have to go back. But if they want a higher score than 6 out of 10, they do need to go back and complete more exercises. I would suggest in the time between the test review and the real review when I run it, this student go back and finish more exercises. Now, here's a student, oops, that's a little off. That should say 3. Excuse me, I didn't prepare this example. Anyway, here's a student that basically did half the work. All right, they completed the quizzes for lessons 1 and 2. They completed the exercises for lessons 1 and 2. But at that point, they stopped. They're currently on lesson 3 when they really should be on lesson 5. All right, by the time I do the review for lesson 4, you've already missed the deadline for lesson 4. You should be on lesson 5. So I'm warning this student that lesson 3, it's kind of okay, but you really, really need to go back and finish some more quizzes, finish some more exercises. All right, so you can see they got 0 out of 5 on 3 and 4. They're getting zeros on the exercises for 3. You do half the lessons, you should expect half the points. All right. So the moral of the story is depending on the combination of quizzes and exercises, you'll get up to 10 points. Try and get as close to 10 on each one. When I do the real review, once it's done, it's done. If on my final run of the review you've got 7 out of 10, that's the score you get for 7 out of 10. Please check your email every day. Please try and improve your scores if you have a chance to before the real review gets done. One thing you'll notice that's missing on these reviews is the labs. The labs are not part of your review score. The labs will get graded at the end of the semester. About a week from now, I probably should go through and do a sort of a test run on your lab, and I'll send you out another sample video on what I think your labs are doing, and I'll send you an email saying how I think your lab progress is going. So if you are struggling at this point and your test review doesn't say you're getting 10 points, make sure that you concentrate on exercises and quizzes, and we'll leave the lab for after the review. All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.